Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Rule the Waves. We're in a very peculiar situation because we are in the war against the UK and we just sighted an unidentified ship just a couple of thousand yards. Can you actually see that? Oh yeah, so about 1 mile, 1.6 miles out from the Monroe and Ranger. Ranger and Monroe are a couple of our battle cruisers. Monroe is a fairly modern 52,000 ton battle cruiser. Ranger is one of our oldest ones, so nearly half the size. And at that range, whatever this ship is, whatever British ship that we know it is, we know it's hostile. It will probably be able to launch torpedoes at us. If we look at the torpedo range, we can see that this would in fact be the torpedo range on our ships, and I expect that they would have rather similar structure. So we're also going very slow, 16 knots over here. We can of course accelerate, but that's going to take some time, and at that time we might not be able to run away from their torpedoes. So not very nice. We are very much caught in a very peculiar spot. The only thing that I can hope for is that they are in fact similarly surprised by this engagement as we are. In terms of weaponry, we have a couple of 14-inch guns, which might or might not be very powerful at this range. This indication, this size here, it's just literally the first thing we see of them, so this is not really indicative. However, we do have 14-inch guns, which would be very powerful at this range. A lot of 7-inch guns as a secondary battery, which would also be very capable, I think, at this range. And we even have tertiary guns, 4-inch caliber guns, 12 on each side. So I'm very happy that the Monroe is carrying such a strong support. Raleigh and Richmond over here are support ships, which will hopefully be able to deal some damage to that. So let's see. You should also go to support max. Yes, you're doing that. So let's see what we get. I'm hoping that we open up fire on them very soon. They'll not be able to launch any torpedoes, otherwise we might be in trouble. Monroe I do think has some torpedo protection. Ranger probably not. Right then, there we go. You are going to a different direction already. Are you in fact evading? You're not. Okay, it's still a bit weird to see that you're doing that. So let's see. There we go, unknown ship. Let's take another turn. It's pretty slow. That's a bit peculiar to me. There we go. We now think that it is a battleship, and Ranger has started to open up with all of their guns and scored 1 hit already. But we don't really know what it is, whether it truly is a battleship. And there we go. We lost sight already. But of course, we do know where they disappeared. We are going to try and get around there. What's the current speed? 50 knots. So yeah, as you can see, it is taking a while for us to get back to speed over there. It is still reported as a battleship. I don't know whether that is true. Raleigh and Richmond do start a fire here, and they are firing heavy guns. And they're scoring a waterline hit. So in fact, Raleigh is in deep in trouble already, just by 1 hit. 16-inch battle. Yeah, so this is a big one. Waterline hit, so flotation damage really bad. So in fact, Raleigh and Richmond need to withdraw. Monroe and Ranger can pursue. Battleship hit, just, and there we go. Raleigh is probably done for. Yeah, with this amount of damage, you guys need to stop making any speed. Just use the pumps to try to pump out water. Monroe, you need to really come in and try to protect the Raleigh up here. Raleigh is being hit even more. Turret destroyed, conning tower destroyed. That I think spells a doom. Structure and flotation is so bad that there's no way that this is that the Raleigh is. I don't think the Raleigh is going to make it. So this is the concurrent flooding. This is how much water is entering this. This is how much flotation damage it has, and you can see that it doesn't require a there's very limited amount of space that would allow for that to go about. There we go, this ship is turning again, so let's make sure that we are engaging them at very close range. But there we go, Monroe is seeing one of her turrets being disabled, which is of course very nasty. There we go, we are hitting them all with 12-inch guns from the Ranger though, so not Monroe. But there we go, 4-inch, 12-inch, 7-inch hits. Monroe itself is hit, target straddled, so I think that's not such a big hit. But in fact they should be suffering from these hits already, because I think they are. Yeah, there we go. So a 14-inch hit, a 12-inch hit, some smaller hits. Monroe hit again though. Monroe secondary battery hit. But still I think most of you should be alright. Yeah, one of the turrets is out of action. It's funny that it doesn't show that, but in fact we should see it down here, shouldn't we? Well, we don't. Anyway. So, let's go ahead. Raleigh sinking, yeah, that's what we expected. Monroe near miss. 12-inch and 4-inch hits on this battle cruiser or battleship. Don't know exactly. Monroe hit again. They are hit again though. Although the Ranger is doing more of the hits, I feel. At least in terms of main armament. There we go. Lots of small hits. Lots and lots of small hits. Monroe, heavy hit on it. And bridge damage. That's really not that great. But should be fine for now. Let's make sure we are parallel over here. Monroe engine room hit. We're now to 21 knots. They apparently suffered medium damage. Oh, and two 14-inch hits, so that's very great. Another 14-inch hit. Monroe hit, but another 14-inch hit on them. 42% damage on the Monroe though, so we need to keep an eye on that. And there we go, more hits on them. Turret hit. But it's still in action. Ranger is not firing for some reason. And probably is outside of sighting range. No, it's not, it should be. Why are you not firing then? Monroe scoring very good hits, and so that's 6 heavy caliber hits right now. They are on fire. So that is very great. They are apparently also stopped, so I think we can take our destroyers over here, go to maximum speed, and just make a run by this ship. Let's pass it on the other side. Just try to pass through over here and get a couple of torpedoes in. Yes, that might mean that we are taking a lot of damage on our ship, but it should hopefully be fine. Ranger hit, not great. But you are scoring good hits. So let's take a slight turn so that we are keeping guns on them for now. Although I think with them being on damage, or damaged this heavily, I think we should be able to. So it's a renowned class that we know now, and look at that. So it's 10 16-inch guns, one of the very terrifying ships for us, in fact. Also in terms of the belt armor, but all of the turrets are now out of action temporarily or constantly, so that's very nice. I think we can keep at this range. Richmond has in fact already started to fire 2 torpedoes from the broadside, so that's very nice to see. I just hope that they can't hit us. I'm not sure whether it's actually possible to score friendly fire hits, so let's see about that. 4-inch hits on them. What's that? Have they launched on us? That might very well be, so let's turn together, let's turn away, let's go support max. So they are hit by 2 torpedoes. That's very lovely, and they are sinking. and another torpedo hit, so there we go. Yes, we lost a light cruiser, but they again lost one of their best battleships. Yes, in fact, battleships. So it's a battleship, not a dreadnought. That's interesting to see. 41,000 tons. Amazing amount of damage. Also, they have improved 6-inch guns, if I read this correctly. So let's see what happened here. So it was hit by the Ranger. Raleigh. Yeah, just this and that, you know. But then the turret being disabled by the Ranger, so by a 12-inch hit. At this range, really, I think the 12-inch hits really did the job because it is able to penetrate basically, and that would not be the same at a higher distance. But then again, you know, just scores and scores of hits, just hitting again and again and again. So 3 torpedo hits, 33 heavy hits. Just really no chance for them. So that's what I like to see. Very, very nice. On the other hand, you know, was it actually the Raleigh? Yes, so the namesake class of the ship. Yeah, but you can see that really with the amount of flotation damage it took. So 5 heavy hits. I think very much the first one really did it. This one didn't help, but yeah. So there we go. Major victory for us because they again lost a battleship. 10,000 more points. Yes, we will call this the Battle of Maine. Let's look at the almanac over here. So Great Britain only down to 2 battleships of the... Really? How does it say it has 2 battleships and 1 building, and then here I can see 3? Probably one of them is being refurbished. But we can see that, you know, the resolution... okay, so I guess this one is being refurbished. Yeah. So the resolution class that I think we took down a couple of times already. Yeah. So the Hood and the Royal Oak were resolution classes which we did sink, and they've got 2 more of those, and they got the Revenge, which is a bit more formidable at 14 guns, just 6 aft, 6 front, 2 in the middle, and 11 inches belt armor. I think that's an interesting ship. It is certainly formidable. In terms of battle cruisers, they seem to have more. In fact, they should have 4, yeah, and 1 building. Which one would be the 1 building? The Inconstant class. But we do know about the Inconstant, and it's... Inconstant and Incomparable are, I think, at this point, the most dangerous ships of theirs. Although, any ship that they have remaining is, in fact, rather dangerous. So, let's look at the situation up here on the map. Everything seems to be in control. I can see very little red bars, except for the British home zone. But they do have 2 battleships, 4 battle cruisers, so pretty much all of their fleet. We, on the other hand, have the Oregon and the Madison in construction, so being refurbished, being fitted with the lightest equipment. There's also the Rhode Island that is being built, but I don't think that's going to finish. It's still 2 years build time, so not really something that is hugely relevant for the current war. All of our other ships seem to be, so at least battle cruisers and battleship upwards, seem to be on the 1926 standard. Yes, that seems very well the case. Then we got all of these, these 2 Oklahoma type ships, and the Providences, which we also refurbished. The Raleighs, in fact, we did not. We did lose one of them. We have some monthly balance over. In terms of submarines, we are very much down to no submarines. They, on the other hand, still have quite a couple, so I think we should rebuild a couple of submarines. I'm going to pick mine-laying submarines because that's always kind of useful. Let's build 9 of those because I think there was 1 left that is ready. So let's have 10 mine-laying submarines. That does put us into the negatives, but I think that's going to be fine once we finish the refurbishment of the Oregon and the Michigan. We are going to wait that turn, and then I think we are maybe there to move out in force against the Brits. We do have 2 battle cruisers on the west coast. Why is that? You guys. Can we in fact move to probably the east coast? Just directly the east coast. That I think should be fine. Yeah, there are not that many British ships really around, just a couple of destroyers. Nothing. Do they even have stuff in the Mediterranean? An armored cruiser. And a light cruiser over here on the east coast, so yeah, let's see. Let's take the turn. Should be fine. Great, we have invaded New Brunswick and New Providence. That's very lovely, and our 2 ships are being refurbished. There is a battle in New Brunswick. Let's see. Yes, the enemy is declining. That's what I thought. So there we go. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, there's. I was wondering why this isn't red. So in fact, we have engaged New Brunswick, so Canada basically, and New Providence, which I believe is the yes, and Nassau. Okay, interesting. Does that change our planning? I think it probably does, because that means if we can take these 2 provinces over, that would be very lovely. That would put us in control of most of Northern America, and even in the Caribbean. That would leave them at just 1 little holding. So yes, I think that does mean that we probably want to keep our forces concentrated in these 2 areas. Obviously the North American East Coast is much more important, so let's make sure that that is appropriately captured. I think in the Caribbean what we want to have there is 2 battleships of the California class, so our first 2 sort of battleships, and I think the Ranger would be very well set up to move to the Caribbean as well. On the other hand, everyone who is currently in the Caribbean, especially the more modern ships, can move up to the east coast. Excellent, there we go. What else have we got? We got the Sioux class, which I hold in very dear memory because it did manage to sink a battleship, and that's going to stay in the Caribbean. You guys are all raiding, which I think is very alright, very much alright. You have a couple of minesweepers here, so what else have we got over here? 1 heavy cruiser, 2 light cruisers, 6 destroyers. 6 destroyers, it may be a bit much in the Caribbean. Although Stuart classes, probably that's fine. The Fannings I'm going to take up to the east coast. These are a bit more modern, and in fact have the long range, are mine laying, whereas all of these guys have the short range and the cramped accommodation, so it's okay if we take Fannings up, I believe. Yeah, so a little bit of a switch around, but should be fine. I don't quite understand the monthly balance. We've finished reconstructing 2 ships, so that really should be reflected in here. Anyway, I'm going to hit and turn. Yes, let's try to secure better terms yet. Yes. So with Richmond! Sunk, just like that. That's nasty. Enemy coastal raid, medium battle. They have 2 battleships, 1 battle cruiser, but they do decline battle. So that's very interesting. Richmond. Raleigh? Aurora? Richmond. Yeah, so another Raleigh class sunk. That leaves us at 2. And that, I believe, means we should probably be building another Oklahoma class. I'm not sure whether it will... delete this design. Ships are built to this design? No, they are built to this design. Damn it. Olympia. Yes, I think that's fine. Why did I call you Cincinnati and Denver? It's supposed to be O-named. Well, I need to fix that between episodes. Anyway, I think one more is fine. And that does mean that they'll probably not be built in this war. But, you know, that's fine. So, still ships in here, still a ship in there. So, yeah, let's keep on fighting. Excellent. Enemy submarines. 4 British submarines sunk. Convoy defense. Large battle, let's accept. They are declining. It's interesting that they are placing so many ships here and then always declining. I would like to sink more of their submarines. With so much stuff on coastal patrol already, although maybe the decateurs can be placed on coastal patrol as well. Let's try to sink submarines as much as we can. 3 more months till we get a couple of Oklahomas and some destroyers. That's fine. Rhode Island still is a huge drain on our resources, but not much that we can do about that. Well, I mean, we don't really need to do it, but anyway, we are sinking some of their ships. Medium battle, let's accept that. I mean, yes, unable to muster enough ships, so they withdrew. That's very interesting to see. In terms of fighting, I think we are now on the defense, so we technically took over Nassau. New Brunswick still is a different deal, so let's make sure we get that. Fighting continues. Russia, I think we can send a note there. Really? Food is becoming scarce. Okay, they sent a couple of ships down here. They did. Right then, we have the Ranger, Riverside and Reno. Oh yeah, you're the remaining Raleigh classes. Okay, you're in search pattern then. Yeah, you're scouting. Okay, that's fine. You are screening. That's also fine. So really, our main ship here is the Ranger. Oh, can I get reports? Ranger again is not our most concurrent ship. I think that's going to be fine. Let's speed up things a bit. It is now, it's just before evening. Oh, but there we go. We do in fact sight another ship. It's up there. Let's go over there. See what we can do about that. This would be our range. I think it's probably a small ship. And we're probably not going to catch it before the night. It seems to be a destroyer. Whether that is correct we cannot judge right now, but in fact it is. So once you know the class, once you know the exact class, it should be fairly obvious that this is in fact a destroyer. That was a hit there, so I'm hopeful that we might be able to score a couple of hits just before nightfall, and that maybe, just maybe, we are gonna sink it or just disable it. Really? At this range, you're hit by a torpedo. What's your torpedo range? That's incredibly frustrating. So that will disable our ship for at least a while. Let's take a turn just so you're limiting flooding. That's fantastic. You sneaky little 6 torpedo tubes. Well, I mean, it is something. You guys, don't be AI control, just come over there at max speed, really try to. You also just don't be AI control. Max speed, go this way. Ranger, you can come up over here, just be a little bit slower so you can limit your flooding a bit better. Yeah, but very soon the night will fall. I don't really want to sink it now. Just the guts that it needs to have, but there we go, night is falling, so we are going to lose sight of it very soon. Riverside, come up over here, you guys come over there, you sort of go this way. We are scoring hits by the reed though, I think, or by the Riverside. Not exactly sure. No, the Riverside seems to be. Oh, come on. Yeah, so light damage on the battlecruiser. So only minor victory, really not that much to write home about. In fact, they are scoring more points for us for that than we are. Unrest level is still fine. I was briefly concerned about that, but not really any point in being too concerned about that. 2 battleships on their side, 5 battlecruisers. So I think they might have finished on the... Jesus, another class. So they might have gotten the second in constant class over here, the Indomitable. Oh well. Oh well. And it's interesting that they're building a smaller ship next. But we'll have to see about that. So for now, I think I can thank you guys for watching, and we can be very happy that we did sink the Renown. So yeah, extremely happy about that. So thank you guys for watching, and to see you again next time. Bye bye.